I've been reading your writings on this with some interest, and you have said the talk of Hindi dominance is a joke. You said that in your column for the Print. In another column for the Indian Express, you spoke about how we need to be looking at English hegemony versus the bhashas of India, and the debate has quite gone into a different direction. You are, of course, with the opposition in terms of where your political support lies, and you've called this a friendly disagreement with MK Stalin. What do you think Mr. Stalin is getting wrong in how he is seeing this debate? In one of his comments to social media, he spoke about how Hindi had swallowed other Indian languages, and you said that was not on. You didn't agree with that. What do you think Stalin's getting wrong in this debate, Yogendraji?
Thanks, Barkha. I should really thank you for reading what I've written. Over the last 24 hours, one of my discovery has been that 176 words are too long for people to read. Because the tweet that you mentioned is actually exactly 176 words.
Gee.
And people don't even read that. The other thing, of course, which should not have surprised me is that in this country, public debate has now reached a level where people presume before they read what you say. They presume because you are a Hindi wala or whatever, you would do that. If Barkha Dutt has this position because she's a Brahmin, because she is this or whatever, so there's really no thought about. And in a sense, I mean, this language has always been a very emotional issue. And understandably so. But in the last 10 years or so, our public discourse has been so debased that even those who seek to oppose BJP follow the same template set by the BJP trolls, which is attack. There's that, forget facts. Why do we need to look at this? You are this. So, for the last 24 hours, I've been told that I'm a Hindi chauvinist, that I'm a Hindi supremacist. I mean, most of my friends would be astonished to hear these things because all my life I've carried a crusade against these things. Just as you
Yeah.
rightly said, there is nothing called a national language in India. Hindi enjoys no such status. Hindi should not enjoy that status. That Hindi states are actually principally to be blamed for sabotaging the three language formula, which was a wonderful thing, the formula itself. And I've actually gone on to say that this thing called Hindi Divas should be abolished. I've consistently taken this position. So now I'm being told that I'm a Hindu supremacist. Anyway, to come back to the difference, to the friendly disagreement, the
Gee.
disagreement is with that tweet, not with the overall position of Tamil Nadu government.
Yeah.
Because that tweet is actually not about opposing Hindi supremacy. It is not about opposing the imposition of Hindi on Tamil Nadu. It actually says something. You probably have that tweet here. The tweet
Yeah.
simply says Hindi has gobbled up, Hindi has swallowed so many languages, etc. Now, I thought, and as I've said there, that so I have disagreement with that part of it. But let me first of all begin by underlining the agreements. Number one, Tamil Nadu has been at the receiving end of severe violation of federal principles, the manner in which the Tamil Nadu governor has gone about doing things. That simply, destroys every federal spirit. And I'm not saying it here. I had made a video saying why Tamil Nadu governor must go. Second agreement. So in that, I'm completely with them. Including the kind of things that he has said today. The governor of Tamil Nadu has been reported today saying, people of Tamil Nadu are being denied of economic opportunities for lack of implementing language policy. I think that's nonsense. I don't think anything, if they were to start teaching Hindi, suddenly there would be economic opportunities which they don't get. So that's one. Number two, I completely agree. And in fact, my previous article was on that, to say that central government cannot withhold educational grants from the schools of a state simply because you do not implement this particular aspect of the national education policy. That's number two. And number three, I completely agree, and that's a position I've taken over the years again and again, that whatever my position, whatever someone else's position, language policy has to be evolved consensually. You simply cannot impose a language on any state. So with these three fundamental agreements, and that's something I've written again and again, why we must be extremely sensitive in a country which is a multilingual country. We have to be extremely sensitive to the sensibilities of everyone, and particularly sensitive to those who do not speak the largest language. Hindi is not a majority language of the country, but it's the largest in terms of numbers because of the way it's counted. So we have to be very sensitive to the feelings of those who do not speak that language, who are, and there is among the Hindi speakers, and you would understand this, we live in the city of Delhi, we live in North India. There is this sense that many Hindi walas have, that they are the owners of this country and everyone else is a tenant. Now, that's a thing that we have to oppose, we have to stand up against. So with all these agreements, the reason I said I'm disappointed with what Mr. Stalin had said was actually that particular tweet. The chief minister of a state launching forth against a language is a bad idea. Tomorrow, if someone from Uttar Pradesh or Bihar does it against Tamil or Telugu, I would say exactly the same things. And I have said it's the same thing in the past. Number two, Mr. Stalin's main argument seems to be that Hindi has swallowed so many languages. Languages like Maithili. Maithili, incidentally, now has a formal recognition.
Yes.
But Bhojpuri, Awadhi, Bundelkhandi, and so on, that Hindi has swallowed up. I think there is a fundamental mistake in understanding what he says. I completely agree that these are not mere dialects, these are languages. And I think loss of this linguistic diversity is something we should be worried about. But this is not something peculiar happening only to Hindi. This has happened all over the country. What we call modern standardized languages, Bengali, Hindi, Odia, this standardization has happened by grouping a number of languages, which today we have started calling dialects. Bengali had so many versions of Bengali. Bengali was written in 3 different scripts in the past. There are so many other Bengalis. But today, one of those Bengalis has become the Bengali, standardized Bengali. This has happened in every single language. As to single out Hindi as having done a historic destruction of a kind which is unprecedented, that's wrong. And number 3, to say that Hindi is the principal imperious language of this country, I honestly think it's a bit of a joke. I mean, look at this imperial power called Hindi, which Hindi speakers don't want to learn. It's a language that Hindi speakers feel embarrassed about, language that cannot get you jobs, a language which has seriously suffered in terms of its acceptance. It's so what kind of a language does Hindi have except the Rajbhasha Samiti, which itself is a bit of a joke in this country.